We have completed the spiritual discourse and the meditation session, and now we are going to start the Q&A session. Any one of you who has any questions about any topics, I will be humble and happy to answer any inquiries from anyone. Thank you.
Is this working? I'll just...
It is on. You just try speaking close.
Real close. Okay. Wow, you did say real close. So I discovered and met Ishwar in 2010 and had a minimal amount of opportunity to ask questions, and I never did ask him the question I think I wanted to ask the most, and only got bits and pieces filled in over time, which was, I always found myself wanting to know his personal life, his family, what he did, and I like I said, I had some of those things filled in, but I guess what I would like to hear from you, as much as you would like to share your family, what you have done in life, what led you to be on the path, and how you met Ishwar, all of that stuff, whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Thank you. Brother, there are absolutely no coincidences in life. Everything is predetermined and preordained in this physical world. I moved to the United States of America back in 1990, and I physically met Ishwar Puriji for the very first time in June 1991 at Maharishi International University in Fairfield, Iowa, where I was studying MBA. And I still remember until now very clearly in my heart and mind the very first time I met him and I shook his hand. I felt some boundless love flowing into my entire being. Later on, the relationship between me and Ishwar Puriji developed. I was driving with friends of mine at MIU campus in Fairfield, Iowa, all the way to the greater Chicago area back in the 90s to attend Ishwar Puriji's satsangs. He was conducting them at a restaurant in the greater Chicago area called Ishtar Inn. Ishtar Restaurant, I believe that was the name. And then on April 2nd, 1995, I traveled from Texas, where I was residing, to Bruce, Wisconsin. And this is when Ishwar Puriji decided that he will conduct spiritual initiation for those who are interested in getting the spiritual initiation. April 2nd, the Bandara of his beloved master, Huzur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji, Ishwar Ji conducted spiritual initiation. We were a dozen, and it was held at the basement of the house in Bruce. The relationship throughout the years developed between me and Ishwar Puriji. I was living in Texas. I met his daughter Ulka. We got married in September 2001. We have a beautiful daughter, Sonia, who was born back in March 2003. Please remember, brother, that the perfect living master who comes to this world, he is in an incarnation of the supreme creator of all existence. We cannot communicate with the supreme creator of all existence. Therefore, he sends a perfect living master in a human form so that he can spiritually initiate us, love us, and lead us from the physical world to the true home. Ishwar Puriji, during family time, acted as a very loving father, caring grandfather, and he has done all his duties and responsibilities to the best of his abilities. He attended all kinds of social events. He and my late beloved mother-in-law, Santosh, also known as Toshi, they had a big circle of friends in the greater Chicago area and beyond. So both of them were very active socially, organizing parties at their beautiful home and elsewhere. But the point is, when I meet him as my beloved father-in-law, he looked so humble and down to earth. You could never tell that he is the incarnation of Sat Purush, the ultimate creator in existence. Brother, did this answer your question? Thank you.
Nam is the greatest gift. Would you please comment?
You are exactly correct, brother. Nam Dan, or the spiritual initiation, is the best thing that can ever happen to a human being. Ishwar Puriji has repeatedly told us again, and forever that throughout his physical life of 94 years, he has never, ever witnessed a greater gift than Nam Dan. Why? Before a person gets spiritually initiated, he is connected to Kal. Kal is the god of time and death. And Kal wants all the souls to suffer in his three worlds: the physical world, the astral world, and the causal world. Kal, being the greatest negative entity in existence, does not want the human soul to be spiritually initiated by a perfect living master of the highest order, Param Sant Sadguru. Therefore, to get permanently disconnected from Kal and get permanently connected to a Param Sant Sadguru, or a perfect living master of the highest order through spiritual initiation, this is the best thing that can ever happen to any human being. Does this answer your question, brother? Thank you.
I met Ishwar and I've attended many discourses over the years, but I never had a chance to get initiated. Now that he doesn't exist in the physical world, are there any more opportunities to seek that?
Thank you, brother. Brother, when the chela is ready, the guru appears. When the disciple is ready, the master appears. Although Ishwarji has physically left and departed, it does not mean that he's gone. As a matter of fact, Ishwar Puri Ji is here and now. In due time, in due course, you will get spiritual initiation with the love and the grace of Ishwar Puri Ji. Thank you.
Hi, Tarek. Thank
Hello.
you for coming. So my question is, when one has negative thoughts that just keep coming, one can do Simran, or one can try to ignore them, or just like offer them up. What is the best way to stop the negative thoughts?
Thank you. According to Ishwar Puri Ji, the best way to eliminate negative thoughts is by practicing meditation with love and devotion. And by meditation, I mean the entire meditation with its three main components: Simran, repetition of the 5 holy names; Bhajan, listening to the current sound, also known as the audible life stream; and Dhyan, contemplation of the eyes and the forehead of your master. The best way to reduce and eventually to eliminate any negative thoughts is by simply meditating with love and devotion. The human mind, as Ishwar Puriji explained to all of us, can be our worst enemy. And the thoughts are all generated from the mind, both positive and negative thoughts. Eventually, the human mind will become our best friend, but that happens later on throughout our progress into the spiritual journey. In conclusion, sister, the best and the most effective way to reduce and eventually eliminate any negative thoughts is to simply practice meditation. Now, if you are in a public setting and someone is angry at you, and obviously you cannot go ahead and do meditation at that time, then you mentally repeat the Simran with love and devotion while you are facing that angry or irritated person. So again, if you are in a public setting, or say for example, you felt some fear due to some extrasensory perception. Say for example, you went to a place and you felt that this place could be haunted by spirits. We know that spirits are there, friendly spirits as well as non-friendly spirits. Ishwar Puriji has simply taught us to go ahead and repeat the Simran, and automatically, sister, any negative entity will not dare to touch you, to hurt you, to even be around you. They will go away immediately. Does this answer your question?
So it's taken me a long time to integrate love and devotion. So if you could, I still have trouble thinking, am I in love and devotion or not? Or how do I do this love and devotion thing?
Thank you, sister. Love and devotion are not generated by the human mind. Love and devotion come from the soul. We cannot try to play a mental game. Oh yes, I am doing meditation with love and devotion while we are probably mechanically doing our meditation. This is a mental game, sister. It doesn't work this way. Right. Therefore, Ishwar Puriji has said that the seed of love and devotion is planted in the heart of the lover by the beloved. In other words, love and devotion come from the beloved himself, from your master. He plants them in you. And then you feel that this plant is growing day by day. But in one of my previous spiritual discourses held at the Greater Toronto Area, Ontario, Canada, I mentioned to the audience that there is a caveat. You can imagine that you are practicing meditation with love and devotion. Imagination. You don't pretend, no pretension, no. imagination is good enough. Why? Because Ishwar Puriji has explained that imagination comes from the astral world, which is a higher world than the world we are now in, i.e., the physical world. So, if a person is having a tough time meditating with love and devotion, which are two essential ingredients in any meditation, you can go ahead and imagine. Okay, let's do an experiment right now, sister. Okay. Please gently close your eyes. Please imagine that you are at the third eye center in the middle of the head. Please imagine that your heart is full of love and devotion to the Master. Imagine. Open your eyes. Did it work? Good. So again, friends, this is an extremely important question. How do we know if we have love and devotion? How can we develop love and devotion? We cannot. Love and devotion come from the Beloved. He plants the seed of love and devotion into the heart of the lover. So therefore, imagination is good enough. First step is you imagine. Then later on, the Master who is inside us, the Master is inside each one of us. Right here, right now, I can say it without any doubt in my mind. Ishwar Puriji is within each one of us right here, right now, regardless whether the person is an initiate or a seeker. So therefore, imagination, then later on, you probably don't have to use imagination, it will spontaneously come to you. Love and devotion will eventually fill your heart, because the Master, after all, is in you. And once we reach Sachkhand, we realize the ultimate truth of existence, that our perfect living Master of the highest order was no one but our own true self. We cannot believe it right now, sister. We cannot. There is no way. Our mind will never fathom that. Therefore, Satpurush, the ultimate creator of existence, will send a perfect living Master who is the embodiment of Satpurush, but in a human form. He looks at us, he gives us his darshan and drishti, he will initiate us. And by the way, when I say spiritual initiation, it doesn't mean the formal ceremony. Spiritual initiation is just the Master looking at a person, recognizing that this person is, his name is on his marked soul's list. That is initiation. Did this answer your question, sister?
Yes, it did. And the more I've been in my imagination, the more I've been starting to feel the love. And so it just reaffirms what I've been playing around with lately. So it's pretty wonderful. So thank you. But I needed this experience.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Hi, Tarek.
Hello.
I'm so glad you talked about imagination because that was my question. So you kind of answered it already, but some of us remember the times when Ishwar would do this game. We would go up on the roof. So that kind of opened the door for me to work with imagination because it was very easy for me to go up there and. But sometimes I can get pretty far out with this imagination, and for some strange reason, Great Master always is there too, and so I ask questions. I have to try to have a communication, and I do get answers, but sometimes I wonder what is my mind and how much can I rely on. There's always a little moment of the mind doubts, although my heart most often thinks, oh, yeah, this is true. It rings true. So yeah, imagination is actually the tool that I use the most of all the techniques that we have.
And imagination, again, it's not pretension. That's why I said imagination is very much different than to pretend. Pretend is a trick of the mind. Imagination is not. So that's another hint that you could use. If you are pretending, okay, I am now pretending that I am speaking with love and devotion. That's the mind. But if I am imagining that I am speaking to you right now here with love and devotion, then yes, it works. I feel it. So therefore, here is the trick. If you feel that the heart is telling you that the meditation was done with love and devotion, that is imagination. You pass the test. On the other hand, if the heart does not tell you anything and the mind is bothering you with a myriad of thoughts, then it was probably pretension and not imagination. Did this answer your question, sister?
Yes, and do you think it's possible to access the Akashic record through imagination?
Very good question, sister. As we all know, Akashic records are found in Trikuti. Trikuti is the highest region of the causal world, where the universal mind is, and where human karma gets its origin. Imagination comes mainly from the astral world. So we have the physical world, the astral world, the causal world, and on top of the causal world, we have Trikuti, where Akashic records are all found. Yes, it is possible to access Akashic records through imagination.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hello. So does one have to pay their karmic debt before being initiated? And if yes, how does one do that as a seeker?
Thank you, sister. If anyone has to pay his or her karmic debt before getting spiritually initiated by a perfect living master of the highest order, guess what? No one will ever get spiritually initiated. We have been here for countless generations, for numerous times, coming back again and again to Pinda, or the physical world. As far as this audience is concerned, I can say that all of us here are old souls. So we have been here for some time. The fact that everyone came, and many of us came from out of town, out of the greater Madison area, to attend the spiritual discourse is not a coincidence. There was a pull. So therefore, what I would like to tell you is, no, you don't have to finish paying your karmic debt in order for you to get spiritually initiated by a perfect living master of the highest order. There is no way, because we have so much karma. And speaking of karma, in one of my previous spiritual discourses held at the Greater Toronto area, I spoke of karma. And karma is of 3 kinds or 3 types. There is Sinchit karma, which is the reserved karma, the karma from our thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of years that have been accumulated while coming back to the physical world in the vicious circle of birth, life, and death. This is called Sinchit karma. Once a seeker gets spiritually initiated by a perfect living master of the highest order, the Sinchit karma is automatically burned totally and completely. Now, I said a perfect living master of the highest order. Why? Because if a perfect living master initiates an individual and he or she has not attained the highest order, the Sinchit karma will not get totally and completely burned of the disciple. So this is the first type of karma, Sinchit karma or reserve karma. The second type of karma is pralabd. Pralabd means destiny. Your destiny. What are you supposed to be here? What is your role in life? What are you going to study? What are you going to work in? What field? Are you going to get married? Are you going to have children? This is your pralabd karma or destiny, fate karma. That will remain with you even after spiritual initiation from a perfect living master of the highest order. And the third type of karma is kareman karma or the present karma. Right now I am here with you. If I do anything, it will create a present karma, and that also remains with the disciple even after he or she is spiritually initiated by a perfect living master of the highest order. But there is a caveat. Sometimes, and Ishwarji has told me that himself, sometimes out of his boundless love and eternal grace and infinite compassion, the perfect living master will even intervene in the pralabd karma as well as the kareman karma. He does it to not to everyone, not to all his initiates, but to some initiates. He does that. So therefore, to answer your question, sister, the answer is no. You do not have to worry about your karmic debt. Eventually, the huge chunk of the karmic debt is totally and completely burned spontaneously once a perfect living master of the highest order will spiritually initiate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where do you think humanity is going, and where would you like it to go?
Brother, the spiritual path of Sant Mat does not focus on humanity, what's going to happen to the world. The spiritual path deals with spirituality, and spirituality is a customized and personal path. As I mentioned in my spiritual discourse, a perfect living master does not come to this physical world to make it a better world. He does not care about this world. He knows that this is made by Kal. He knows that this world is ephemeral. And right now, we are in the midst of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga in Sanskrit is the age of ignorance, also known as the Iron Age. In the Iron Age, a lot of negativity happens. Check it out. From political conflicts to military wars to economic crisis. Look around you, brother. The world is in a mess. Now, a master, not of the highest order, will tell you, oh, we're going to go ahead and create foundations, societies, organization, non-profit to aid humanity. Sure, this is nice and noble, and I appreciate that. But please remember, brother, the perfect living master comes to this world for one and only one purpose. He or she has a list of marked souls. He or she will spiritually initiate these marked souls and get them out of this mess. Period. A perfect living master of the highest order looks at this world. He is living in this world, but he is not part of this world. And he knows that there will always be negativity. Why? Because this is the world of Kal. Kal is the supreme ruler of the physical, astral, and causal worlds. As long as Kal is there, which is the greatest entity of negativity in existence, there will always be problems. So when a master comes to the physical world, we need to establish heaven on earth. Really? Please go ahead. Good luck. There is so much negativity, brother, especially right now in Kali Yuga. We are in the midst of Kali Yuga. And by the way, for those of us who are not familiar with the Vedic philosophy, there are 4 time periods in existence. There is Satyug, which is the age of enlightenment. There is Treta Yuga, there is Dwapar Yuga, and there is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the worst one. We are in Kali Yuga right now, the age of ignorance, the Iron Age. So expect that there will be a lot of negativity coming out from this world. Expect the unexpected. But we, as initiates and seekers of the ultimate truth, should really focus on our purpose in life, which is to let our perfect living master of the highest order move us from the spirit from the physical world to Sachkhand, the true home. The spiritual journey is a state of consciousness. It's not like physically moving from here to here. No, it's a state of consciousness. So therefore, we should focus on our ultimate goal in life, which is to reach Sachkhand in this life, if possible. Brother, did this answer your question?
Yes, towards the end, very much yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you talked about the three aspects of meditation. Of course, everything with love and devotion, but Simran, Dhyan, and then listening to the sound. And how do you know when the sound is there sufficiently pulling that you can give up Simran totally?
Thank you, brother. As I mentioned, meditation of the path of the masters in Sant Mat philosophy consists of three parts: Simran, repetition, mental repetition of the 5 holy names; Bhajan, listening to the sound current within us, also known as the audible life stream; and Dhyan, contemplation of the 2 eyes and the forehead of our master. Ishwarji has explained that all initiates should mentally repeat Simran with love and devotion, at the same time contemplate the form of the master, if possible, beginning with the 2 eyes and the forehead. Then later on, when the initiates experience the radiant form, they can focus on the radiant form. Now, once an initiate hears a sound within, any sound, whether it's a cricket sound or a sound of a little conch or a bell, you should immediately stop the mental repetition of the 5 holy names and focus your attention, which is already on in the third eye center, on the sound, whatever sound it is. So you could do Simran and Dhyan together, and you can also do Bhajan and Dhyan together. While listening to the sound, you can contemplate on the form of your beloved. But Ishwarji has discouraged us to do repetition, mental repetition, that is Simran, along with listening to the sound current or audible live stream, Bhajan, at the same time. He said it's not favorable to do that. So again, brother, as soon as you hear a sound within yourself, you immediately stop Simran and you focus on Bhajan. Bhajan is more important than Simran. Why? Because Bhajan is listening to the sound current, the audible live stream, which is basically the shabad of the ultimate creator. So that has a priority. And in the beginning, we may not hear the big bell. It may comes in a sound of a cricket, sound of a conch or a bell, small bell. That's fine. You focus on that. Whether it is coming from the right ear or the left ear or in the middle of the head, Ishwarji has advised to immediately stop Simran and focus on Bhajan as soon as you hear a sound within. Brother, did this answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
And to continue that point, I feel like I should know this. But even if we don't hear any sound, do we devote the time for bhajan?
Yes, brother. Absolutely. Whether we hear a sound or we do not hear a sound, you have to devote a time for bhajan and dhyan at the same time. And that normally happens after the Simran and Dhyan session. So you have Simran and Dhyan followed by Bhajan and Dhyan, and this constitutes the entire meditation session.
And is it suitable to have earplugs in, or is it better to close them with our thumbs, or does it matter?
It is a personal preference. Whatever the initiates would like to do, it's totally and completely up to their levels of comfort. So, whether you would like to use physical earplugs, or whether you would like to use bows, or whether you would like to use the tea that used to be used in the old days of Bayas in India, or whether you would like to use your knees, it's entirely up to you. It doesn't matter. It's up to your level of comfort. It is your personal preference. Friends, this concludes the Q&A session. I would like to wholeheartedly thank each one of you for graciously coming to the Greater Madison area, Wisconsin, USA, to attend the spiritual discourse as well as the meditation and Q&A sessions. Some of us came from out of town. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me. May the grace and the love of our dearest Master, Param Sant Satguru, always and forever be upon you. Thank you.